Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another video here with the CNY family. All right, so I'm not going to go over things I have already said. If you have not seen my previous video on this subject, go and check it out now, okay? Or go and check it out after, because you might want to pay attention to some of the things that I'm going to say here, and then we're going to go over some things that I think are pretty important. Okay, now the first thing I want to say is this. Everybody was so quick. So let me just paint this picture for you. This guy who used to work for Twitch, that no longer does, no longer is affiliated with them, used to work for them, puts a tweet out that says that Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch in 2020 for sexting minors back in 2017. Now, this coming from someone who is a struggling musician who has been trying to make money off of Dr. Disrespect's name for years. He would always put out these things like, oh, if you pay for this, if you donate this, if you do this, then I'll come out and I'll tell everybody why he got banned. He's been playing that same card for years. So anyway, he puts this tweet out, and then everybody, without proof of these messages, drops him like a sack of potatoes. Twitch, Black Steel Bourbon, YouTube, Midnight Society, Turtle Beach, NBA, the San Francisco 49ers, literally all of his quote unquote friends that he games with and that are his friends in real life. Everybody dropped this guy like a freaking sack of potatoes without ever seeing proof of anything. Crazy, right? Crazy. Now, let's go to this point right here. So, supposedly, these messages happened back in 2017, right? I'm saying supposedly that's why he was banned in 2020. But this happened back in 2017. And according to the other former Twitch employee who came out and said, yep, I saw the messages. That's why he was banned. It was actually my job to go through these messages, and they immediately have to be reported to Twitch, and then the authorities are brought in. Okay. So you're telling me that the doc was messaging this minor back in 2017. Twitch was immediately notified. The authorities were notified, but that not only did he not get in trouble there was no wrongdoing, he didn't legally do anything wrong, but then Twitch is going to wait 3 whole years to ban him? Come on. This supposedly happened in 2017. He wasn't banned from Twitch until 2020. So they knew he spoke to a minor, inappropriately, but waited 3 years to ban him for it? Just think about that. And if that's the case, then Twitch knew what was going on. Twitch knew that there were people that were adults that were talking to minors on their platform and didn't do anything about it. Just let it happen for 3 whole more years. Crazy, right? And then you got to think about, so these people that have come out and made these tweets are all former Twitch employees, which means they're no longer employed by Twitch. So you would think that before everybody would jump on this attack bandwagon to really derail and ruin someone's life, they would actually have to have some kind of proof they would actually look into these people that were spewing, that were saying these things, right? I mean, you would think that. Now let's talk about Twitch for a second. Twitch, who has just chatting is one of their things, right? I'm never on Twitch, but I know of it, right? And I've heard some things. So Twitch has this thing called just chatting, where literally there's people on there, women on there, grown ass adult women that got barely any clothes on, that are literally in there interacting with who? Teenage boys. And they're actually being promoted and celebrated for this behavior. So it's not like Twitch is all holier than thou, right? And now let's just talk about this for a second. Doc was paid $20 million settlement from Twitch. He was paid. The contract was paid in full. Now, if he would have violated their terms and conditions by talking to a minor, right, or doing any illegal activities, they would have just terminated him and they wouldn't have paid him out a penny. So think about that. Why is everybody thinking over here and not looking at the information that's over here? See, everybody is just looking for that next thing to hate on, for that next person to talk about, for that next thing to be enraged about, because that's the world that we live in. Now, let's for 1 second touch base on this lunatic. I don't want to, let me say this the right way. This lunatic, trans cam model who claims to have messages from Dr. Disrespect and her going back and forth, where she's talking about trying to get sponsored by him, or for him to get her sponsored. Cam models, OnlyFans, porn is not 90%, 80 something percent of the internet. These women literally go on the internet and it's legal prostitution because they are selling themselves for whatever they can get. So you need to ask yourself when women like that come forward, not saying they couldn't be victims of things, not saying that at all. So don't get it wrong. But what wouldn't they do for money? You got to ask yourself that too. Everybody immediately just jumped onto he's guilty, he's a pedophile, he's a child predator, without ever seeing what he had done, without ever seeing the words that were said. Why is it that we are in a society today where somebody can come out and literally say something about someone else without providing the proof or evidence, and it ruined their whole life? And let's talk about the messages that person wanted to share. Do you know how easy it is to fake an account? Do you know how easy it would be to set up a fake account and set up some fake messages? I'm just saying. Today, it's very hard to believe what you see and what you hear. Very hard to believe it. With the age of AI and fakes and everything that we live in today, it is very hard to know what is true and what is false. Now, something like this is one of those things where once the bell has been rung, it can never be unrung. So the doc could come out tomorrow and say, all right, I'm done. I'm over it. Here's the messages. And they've been way blown out of proportion. People have gone crazy, just said some crazy shit, put some things out there, and they can never be truly walked back. It can never disappear. Once it's out there, it's out there. And people don't think about these things, right? Until it happens to them. Now, we're going to go over a few things, okay? So let me pull these up and share these with you, because this one is very important. If we want to go off of this Rolling Stones article with some guy who we don't know, if we want to go with these tweets from this Cody dude who we don't know, if we want to go from everything that's just put out there and said, then you might as well take in all the information that is put out there and said. Now, let me pull this up. Let me read this to you, okay? Hold on a second. Why does it do that? All right, so let me just read these to you. Hold on. Oh, okay. This was sent Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. I'm sending this to multiple known sources in the gaming news arena. I hope this is taken in... Oh, geez, it's so small. Oh, I hope this is taken in the spirit in which it is intended. I will keep this inbox open for 12 hours from now, then it will be gone. Here's what actually happened, but what cannot be said publicly by the Dr. Disrespect camp. There were whispers between Guy and a 17-year-old on Twitch. The age was not known at the time. These were messages in relation to how to scale new channels using tried and testing methods. Behind the scenes, this was a service that was offered by members of the Dr. Disrespect team under a different brand name. The brand name used could be interpreted many ways. The transcripts were part of the court proceedings and, as outlined, show no wrongdoing or illegal activity. The issue on the Twitch side was how some of the messages and the brand name used could be interpreted differently, and was interpreted differently by certain members of the Twitch team that had taken a dislike to Dr. Disrespect due to the bathroom incident. The internal feeling was that it would be only a matter of time before they got him on something. This one, however, was way wide off the mark and wasn't what they thought it was. This became the result of a lot of back and forth at Twitch with various people in the Let's Get Him camp and others in the We Can't Move Forward with this camp. His whispers were being monitored because a core group of influential people within Twitch wanted him gone. The whispers in question were actually from many, many, many weeks prior to his last stream. The initial explanation provided to him during the termination communication was inappropriate behavior not befitting of the Twitch brand, unquote. He's right in what he said at the time of his go live on YouTube. We still don't know, because for a long time, Twitch could not commit to an explanation over and above the inappropriate behavior not befitting of the Twitch brand until the matter went to court. The matter went to court, and it was found in discovery that not only did a group of Twitch employees conspire to get him, but they also broke data protection internal policy and CCPA regulations by disclosing to a third party, who he also had a contract with, what they perceived to have happened. Internally, the argument on their side became, why else would he be messaging someone that young, implying only a sinister perspective. For the avoidance of doubt, there was no sexting as implied by a former Twitch employee. There were messages, but not of that nature. Dr. Disrespect was the one who... What does that say? Sorry, it's so freaking small. Dr. Disrespect was the one who initiated legal proceedings and settled because of the fact that once something like this is said about someone, it can never be unsaid. And there would always be some, perhaps not fans, who would say, well, there's no smoke without fire. We have seen many people accused of things that turned out not to be true in the past. But by the time the damage was done, it was done. He agreed to the no party admits any wrongdoing joint statement purely because he understandably wanted to keep this quiet. The fact that a former Twitch staff member has now made his tweet that changed things considerably, it's out there now and it can't be walked back. Dr. Disrespect is furious that he cannot respond to this properly because his lawyers are telling him that it'll make the agreement invalid and he may be forced to pay back the settlement that he won. I'll say that again. The settlement that he won. There will be legal avenues explored on this one, and it will likely ultimately manifest itself in a huge damage claim against Twitch for this coming out. It's clear in the industry that they were absolutely raging when he reappeared on YouTube and came back bigger than ever. When he publicly backed Nick Merckx recently, the same group of current ex-Twitch employees tried to identify if their compromise separation agreements from Twitch would be nullified if they spoke out. And only one had the guts to try after testing the waters numerous times before to sell concert tickets. Cody. This person would have largely been fined legally if he had not mentioned the word sexting, because it was all about damaging Dr. Disrespect's reputation. But because they used that word, expect legal proceedings to get underway very quickly, because the transcripts will absolutely categorically show that there was no sexting, but merely communications with someone who turned out to be a minor. That was not known at the time. That certain people within Twitch who had an agenda against Dr. Disrespect pounced and made it fit their agenda with zero proof. I am a former Twitch employee. I now work elsewhere. I will not be identifying myself and I will not answer any questions about who I am. However, I will answer some questions in relation to this case as I was very close to this at the time. He deserves the right to have some transparency, but he's tied legally in what he can say until the new proceedings progress. He has the right to some of the story being out there, even if he can't be the one to say it. So I am sending this as an independent party who is fully aware of the facts and feel very uncomfortable with what I've seen thrown at him in the past few days, based on the agenda of a small group of people who did not like him. You should also ask yourself, why are some of these people no longer at Twitch? Because they broke policy and in some cases the law by breaching data protection regulations. Many people were dealt with as a result of this and lost their jobs. You have a duty to balance the reporting of this until such time as court proceedings provide the clarity you should have waited for but didn't. He'd been good to you all. He's not what is said, and he deserves better, especially considering he agreed for their behavior not to be made public as he wanted to protect the income streams of others. The Midnight Society piece is an example of a lot of people getting cold feet. They asked him about it. He told them messages existed, but they weren't in that nature reported, but couldn't share them as part of the settlement, and the decision was made to put out that statement in haste. There was an impulsive move that they will regret later. So, if you want to take in some of the information, you might as well take in all of the information so you can actually form a clear opinion on what you think happened. Because that is an important piece of the puzzle. Of course. I mean, think about it all. All right. Now let's move over here. Now, this is about a trans worker has come out alleging Dr. Disrespect cheated on his wife with her in 2017. She alleges Doc promised her sponsorship for cam shows, but Doc blocked her instead. Now, this person is saying This story is a hoax. Attempting to message a user who has you blocked returns the can no longer send error on the right and not the must be verified error seen in the video. Right before that, they show Doc having them blocked. So here's what it shows you in the video. You cannot message this user because you are not verified. Here's what it actually says if you try to send someone a message that has you blocked. You can no longer send messages to this person. And again, I will say this. What won't cam models and sex workers do for fame or money? Just saying. All right, now let me pull this up. Dr. Disrespect lives in California, where it is illegal to sext a minor. You expect me to believe that Twitch only banned him and didn't contact the authorities? If he really sexted a minor, he'd most likely be in jail. He lives in San Diego, California. Okay. Harmful matter sent to seduce a minor. Penal Code 288.2 PC. Under California Penal Code, sexting with a minor is illegal regardless of whether or not the minor consented. There was no wrongdoing. There was nothing illegal. No charges were filed. And the only person that got paid in the whole situation was the doc. And I will say what I said in the beginning. They say these messages happened in 2017, and that's the reason for his ban. But he didn't get banned until 2020. Why would they wait 3 years? Doesn't make any sense. You really don't be one of those people that just jumps on the freaking bandwagon. That just jumps on the bandwagon to attack somebody because you want to join in or feel like you're a part of something. Use your brain. Think about all sides of the story. Investigate where the information is coming from to try to form your own opinion on whether or not a man is guilty and what you're about to do is ruin someone's life. You should maybe put a little bit of more thought into it before you do anything. Again, if you have not seen my first video on this, because I did not mention any of that in this video, please go and check it out. Don't ever attack someone or try to destroy someone without any freaking proof of what you're saying is true. It's not good, and it can never be undone. I hope that the doc comes back out soon with proof that all of this is completely off base and insane and sues every single company and person that destroyed him and his family. Just my opinion. All right, let me hear what you guys think down in the comment section below. Again, this is just my opinion, but you have to see all sides of every story. You can't have an opinion based off one little piece of story and not have the whole entire story. But that's what everybody did without any proof of anything. I love you all. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep spreading that light, and I will see you all next time.